Well, back when I did my 5,000 subscriber special tool giveaway, I told y'all if I ever got to 15,000 subscribers, we'd do it again. And well, here we are. So per tradition, got a nice ratchet here. This is a Snap-on FHL 80 3/8 drive ratchet. Pretty boss. Now I couldn't find a Snap-on version of these hose gripping pliers, but Blue Point made a version. It's a 3-piece set. Also got some work gloves, the t-shirt, and the beach towel. Now as far as the gloves and the t-shirt, I had to get a double XL because, like I've said before, if nobody wants any of this stuff, well, I sure as fuck can use it. So there's no real reason for me to buy, say, medium-sized gloves. Medium-sized glove ain't gonna fit this motherfucker, you know what I mean? What I'm doing here is not endorsed or sponsored by Snap-on in any way. A while back I did a survey, asked you guys what you guys would like to see as far as stuff that you could win, and by far the choice was Snap-on. I know the internet has a hard-on for Snap-on. You know, they say things like, oh, Snap-on tools aren't what they used to be, or whatever. If you don't like it, don't enter. Like I've said, I really hope that this stuff goes to somebody that will use the tools and enjoy them, you know what I mean? I hate to see these things end up on eBay, but it is what it is. I can just hope for the best, you know what I mean? So what do you guys got to do to win this stuff? Well, in my 5,000 subscriber special, getting the tools was very easy. Y'all didn't have to do nothing but make a post in a thread. This time it's going to be a little bit tougher. As you guys might have seen on social media, I tried to get some of this stuff back in December. It didn't quite work out due to some fuckery, but it's all good now. But I'm still going to treat this like it was fucking Christmas time, you know what I mean? So the theme of this giveaway is Merry Christmas, Spider. It's kind of an inside joke, but the whole point of this Merry Christmas, Spider is because there's actually a spider hidden inside one of my YouTube videos. If you find them, send an email to 15ksubgiveaway@gmail.com. I'm going to throw up a little text thing so you all spell it right. Doing it this way, I'll get a timestamp as to who actually had the first correct answer, and you're going to get all this stuff. One other thing to note, if you live outside the US, you have to pay for shipping. It is what it is. If you don't like it, I'm sorry, and it'll just go to somebody else, you know what I mean? Not a big deal. I ran this idea by some of my peers, and a question that they had was, why do you want somebody to go and look through your videos to find a spider? What does that have to do with anything? I want you guys to watch videos that you may not have seen before. I think that if you guys watch some videos you may not have seen before, you may pick up ideas here or there, or tricks here and there, as far as testing stuff, maybe loading down circuits. A lot of what I do on the diagnostic side of things isn't shown anywhere. Again, if this is too much work for y'all, you don't want to do it, it's not a big deal. I definitely can use those tools that we're giving away. As much as I hate to see it happen, it is a possibility, and I'm okay with either way. You know what I mean? Now, I'm going to tell you straight up, it is very hard to find. I know where the motherfucker is. I couldn't even find it, you know what I'm saying? So along the way, over the next couple days or weeks, I'm going to post clues as to where this motherfucker is. Now I've got 200 some videos out there, so to help narrow it down, the first clue is the spider can be found in a video related to what you see on the About Me page on my YouTube channel. So that about wraps it up. That's how you can win the tools. Good luck, and I hope that whoever gets this shit can use it, you know what I mean? So if that's what you came to see ya. But this is my subscriber special, and I got some stuff I want to talk about. Also, Merry Christmas, Spider! Man, it's hard to believe that shit's been like 12 years ago. 12 motherfucking years ago, man. Like, where does the time go? Man, I don't know what's scarier. Still saying Merry Christmas, Spider? Or the fact that knowing somebody for a whole 3 hours can leave such a monumental impression on me. That's just nuts, man. Merry Christmas, Spider.
Alright, so check it out. I'm rolling in the hearse. No talking. I always wanted to do a Paul Bearer impersonation while driving in a hearse, so I finally get to live my dream. Oh, Undertaker, at WrestleMania 37, you were gonna win against Triple H.
Well, in 10 days from the filming of this video, I'm going to celebrate 10 years being on the forums. 10 years ago that I really just found out about automotive repair forums. This was shortly after buying my 2003 Chevy Trailblazer. It was pretty cool finding a place where, you know, we had a common bond with our vehicles. A lot of us had things in common, and in a lot of cases we met up in real life. And now it's 10 years later, and I think that the state of the forums have changed. You know, going back 10 years ago, the people that were using the forums, you know, to ask questions. They were enthusiasts to the cars that they had. They kind of knew that when they came to a discussion forum to talk about problems with their car, that they would kind of have to do some legwork on their end as far as the diagnostic procedure. Now 10 years later, it's like people think they're entitled to free help. They don't want to do legwork. They don't want to go and do any tests. They want volunteers to tell them what's wrong with their car when it doesn't work that way. Now some people might say that it does work that way, and if you tell me what code you have, I can tell you what part to replace, but chances are that stuff's wrong. You know what I mean? From what I've seen, people would much rather go to a Facebook page and ask car questions rather than go to a website devoted, to their specific platform. I've never participated in any kind of Facebook group as far as answering car questions or any of that stuff. Personally, I'd rather do it on the forum. In my opinion, Facebook is drawing people away from the website. The website's not getting the revenue they need to survive, and it affects everybody. Anyway, as much as I hate to say it, I think Facebook and stuff is killing the forums. I think Fast and Easy YouTube channel is killing the forums. And really, the forums just don't have much to offer me anymore. What do you see, man?
Green one.
It's green, yeah.
Yeah.
What color is this?
Orange.
It's yellow.
Yellow.
Well, I just told you what it was. Now in 2016, I went back to working for the man. I did 6 months at one job and 6 months at another, and I really want to share my experiences with y'all. Now the first place I worked at was a franchise, which means you sign a check and congratulations, you now own your own auto repair business. No automotive repair experience required. All you got to do is hire someone to manage your business and you're all set. Unless you hire a fucking idiot to run your shop, in which case you're going to have problems, particularly with high employee turnover. Now my biggest problem with this place was unrealistic expectations. The people that say that auto repair is fast and easy are the ones that don't do this for a living. You know what I mean? Just because a labor book says that a job should take an hour, it doesn't mean it works that way in the shop. Especially, I live in the Rust Belt and things rarely work out that way. I guess at the end of the day, these guys really just wanted fast parts changers to make them a fast buck, and that shit ain't for me. You see, guys like me are a rarity. You've got guys like that manager, and they just throw parts at problems, and when they run out of parts to replace, that's where guys like me come in. Whether it's watching live data, going through a wire harness, diagnosing transmission trouble codes, or finding out what is causing this car to burn up 4 alternators in a row. These are things that I do in my driveway that those guys can't do in their full-blown auto repair shops. So I'm not listening to some car-tard who has never done this for a living tell me how to do my job because they watched a video on YouTube that said it's only 4 bolts. This dude does know about me. Maybe he's going to watch this, so I've got something to say to you. How dare you knock motherfuckers for going out and working outside of work? Do you think if I sat around on my weekends like a fucking invalid that I'd have the stuff I have in life? Well, the answer is no. I go out and get it. Whether it's making videos for YouTube, whether it's working on my website, whether it's working on people's cars outside of work. I do what I do to fucking make it. You know what I'm saying? This guy's the definition of a fucking hater. I treat myself to a nice big toolbox and it's, what do you need something like that for? I need it to hold my tools, you fucking retard. I buy myself a nice Snap-on Modus. Oh, you need to see me before you buy something like that. I don't need to see you for nothing, you know what I mean? Guys like you get upset when other people succeed. Motherfuckers mad, jealous, but whatever. This guy wakes up on the wrong side of the couch every morning. He's in a bad mood every day and uses his job title to be nasty towards people. The extent of this guy's automotive repair experience was 30 years ago when him and his buddies were passing around a Jegs magazine jerking off to all the bolt-on mods that they would never do. Hey, I'm gonna get these beefy ignition cables, man. More power, yeah! For the last 2 years, I thought that the biggest bitch thing that another man could do was to post pictures on Facebook showing off their new ride, but without telling anyone that they're just leasing it. It's like, congratulations, dude. You're renting a car that you can't afford. I'm fucking proud of you. Well, this guy raised the fucking pathetic bar. For months this dude was telling me about his big customized truck, all the mods that he done, all the cars that he raced, all the bitches that he got with this truck. The kind of douche that tells those kinds of douche stories like anyone gives a fuck. But a short time later, it was revealed that that truck's not his. It's a company car. What kind of bitch would ride around and talk up somebody else's truck? That That's why your bitch ass was never in my circles, motherfucker.
They tell me to pick Sean up, but I had to shit. I had to shit really bad. So I pooped my pants in my Ford Tempo.
Alright, so where was I in my story? Oh yeah, so I worked at the franchise, got the fuck up out of there, then it was time to go on to an independent repair shop. Now, over the years, I've heard a lot of horror stories from people as far as their experience in dealing with auto repair shops. In the second half of 2016, I learned that this stuff really does happen. Now I'm going to go over some cases that I worked on and throw up some pictures and stuff and give you guys an idea of just how stupid these motherfuckers are. So our first case here is a Toyota van with a 3.3. It's got a check engine light on with a P0301 and a P0171. Now this van had already been to my work for the same problem. This time I look at it. Okay, so here we have a fuel injector. You can see I have my multimeter set to ohms, and I've got no continuity through this fuel injector. It definitely has a bad fuel injector. I told the boss what we had. We've got an open circuit number 1 injector. This dumb motherfucker told me that that does not mean that it needs a fuel injector. He wanted me to pour a can of a popular fuel system cleaner into the gas tank and give the man back his car. Needless to say, the guy was back the next day. Now I'll share with you their diagnostics. If the car comes in and you turn the key to start, but the starter does not start the car, the first thing you do is you replace the starter. You don't test anything, change the starter. Now in this case right here, the starter didn't fix it. It turned out to be a bad park neutral switch. They told the customer that the starter must have burned up the park neutral switch. The customer ended up spending $500 more for a repair that wasn't really necessary. A car comes in with a complaint of no power steering. The mechanic pulls it in, back and forth on the steering wheel. Hey, we don't have any power steering. It needs a power steering pump. The guy puts the pump in, bleeds the system, and he still doesn't have any power steering. Well, if it's got a good power steering pump, then it needs a power steering rack. $700 later, new rack is in, bleed the system, no power steering in this car. Long story short, every part of the power steering system was replaced. It was just like it was when it came in $2,000 ago. So the guy says, well, maybe I better look on the computer to find out what's wrong. So he goes through the service information, and because of the way that this car was set up, there was a fuse involved for the power steering. After putting a 10-cent fuse back into the vehicle, the power steering was back. You know, a lot of times in auto repair, a component has to be removed to access another component. In this case, the transmission had to be removed from the vehicle for these guys to do something. They put the transmission back in the vehicle, and when they go to plug everything back in, they actually reversed the input and output speed sensor connections in the transmission. They pull the truck back in and say, well, this transmission's fucked, he needs a rebuild. And they proceeded to remove the transmission and send it out for a rebuild. Alright, one more story for you. I had a PT Cruiser come in, and the complaint was, car still overheating. So I go through the diagnostics. I find that the radiator looks brand new, and it also has evidence of stop leak in the cooling system. Not really much to it. I told him that the vehicle needed a full system flush, and we had to put a new radiator in it. No big deal. I was wrong, and this car had a head gasket leak because, and I quote, any PT Cruiser that is overheating needs a head gasket.
Now, I've shared some of these stories with people that I know in real life, and they're like, dude, there's no way. You're making this shit up. You know what I mean? And I can assure you, it's all true. I found out that they have a website. Oil changes. Oil changes should be done every 3,000 miles. They're just regurgitating what people have been saying since the 70s, you know what I mean? I don't buy it. And as you're going to see in my upcoming video where my Trailblazer turned 200,000 miles, well, you'll find out I've never done a 3,000 mile oil change in this thing, ever. We will remove the tires and switch them to a different location on your car. We also align your tires properly with the wheels. What the fuck does that even mean? Fucking idiots. If you need your transmission fluid or other fluid flushed out or replaced, we could do that for you in a matter of minutes. Matter of minutes? Shit, I've done 2 4L60 transmission services on this channel. One in my Tahoe and one in my buddy's Envoy, and neither version was a matter of minutes. The fluid is drawn out of your car through tubing, placed in our filtering system, and returned to your car cleaned. The shop is so far behind the times, they didn't have any flush machines. Sometimes the fuel and engine parts in vehicles retain a residue from pollutants
or your gas tank receives fuel that is dirtier than normal. This can cause your car to idle roughly or accelerate slowly. We have cleaning solutions that will remove any buildup from these parts to get your car running more smoothly until your next fill up. Well, this kind of goes back to that Toyota van, where even though I told them, guys, this thing has a bad fuel injector, they swore that pouring some magic piss into the gas tank was going to fix it. If you hear a squeaking, rubbing, or humming sound when you apply your brakes, that means your brake pads are worn and need replacement. Really? Well, let's take a look at something that happened to me the other day. I'm going to press the brake pedal here. And there ain't a goddamn thing wrong with the pads and rotors on this thing. Brake lines wear down over time, creating pockets of air in them and increasing the pressure and time needed to stop your vehicle. I don't know what to say to that. Something doesn't make sense. What is going on here, man? These guys told me they were certified, man. What's going on here? All of our technicians are ASC certified. ASC certified. Okay, I understand now. ASC certified. Brake fluid is necessary to lubricate the parts of your brake system to prevent friction, wear, and damage to other parts of your vehicle. I'm done. There's only so much stupidity I can take in one day, and according to my camera, I am like 12 minutes into this. I can't go on anymore. Are you fucking kidding me? You know what I mean? Are you fucking kidding me? Anyway, that about wraps it up for the 15,000 subscriber special. Once again, thanks to all you motherfuckers for subscribing to me. I really appreciate that shit. In a perfect world, I can give all you motherfuckers something for 15,000 subscribers, but unfortunately, it's only going to be given to one person. Now, when I turned 1,000 subscribers and did my first giveaway, I was like, man, if I get 5,000, I'll do it again. Next thing you know, we got 5,000 subscribers, and I'm like, man, if I do 15,000, we'll do it again. Well, here we are at 15,000. I don't know what's going to happen, but all I can say is if I end up with 50,000 subscribers, we're going to do it again. And as always, the giveaways are just going to keep getting bigger, you know what I mean? So thanks for watching, and who knows, maybe we'll be doing this again.
Cupcake. 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 I want cupcake. 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 I want cupcakes, motherfucker.